Welcome to Kick It Up a Notch, hosted by Megan and Jenny. We're here to bring you lively conversations, inspiring stories, and a little bit of everything in between. Whether it's life, business, or just a good laugh, we're turning up the energy and diving into what makes life extraordinary. Let's kick it up a notch. Welcome. Thank you for coming back to our second episode of Kick It Up a Notch. I'm Megan Thomas, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Jennifer McBride.
Hello.
We're so glad to have you back today, listeners. What do we got rolling for them today, Jenny?
Well, today we're going to just talk about what some unexpected things that people may not know about us. I guess, right?
Get to know us a little bit better. We're going to talk about people's stories. You need to hear some of our stories. So, start off with your friend. Do you like to go by Jenny or Jennifer?
What, Jennifer when I'm in trouble, Jenny when I'm being good.
What about when can we utilize J-Dog?
Well, you can utilize that anytime you want.
We gotta stop looking at each other. All right, start us off. 5 things. What is your first thing people may not know about you or may be surprised to learn?
I think one of the things that we talked about in our very first episode was the fact that I have a motorcycle. So
go back and listen to our first episode if you have not yet.
Yeah,
Jenny has a motorcycle. Stop looking at me.
Sorry. So yes, I have a Harley Sport Glide, which I really don't know what that means, really. I just like the looks of it. I like, it's white. It's pretty awesome.
I forgot you had a white one.
Yeah, it's white, and we had some work done to it, and it sounds really amazing. So when I pull up next to you.
Was that work also a lowering kit?
This one.
Oh yeah, she's on her second one.
Okay, yeah, I'm on my second because I had a little starter bike. Now I've upgraded to a big girl bike. Doesn't have the banana seat on it anymore. No. I did not have to do a lowering kit, but I did have to do a reach seat.
A booster seat for a motorcycle?
Yeah, so sorta, so what it does is it just kind of pushes you forward a little bit, and so it's easier to reach the handlebars and my feet to touch the ground, so.
This started
real problems.
This started with Jenny going, I think I want an electric bicycle for when we go traveling around RV parks. A week and a half later, her and Chris both had Harleys.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
That is the way it works. Do you think you like the motorcycle more than you would an electric bike?
For sure. Well, I think I could probably use both of them, honestly. Which will
end of 2025, Jenny is an electric bike. End of January.
Yeah, no, but no, it's the Harleys are definitely more beneficial to us and with our lifestyle.
Okay. So you see, as always, everyone be careful and look twice for motorcyclists on the road.
Well, that's one thing that you don't realize is, how bad people are drivers until you ride a motorcycle. It just is. You just have to pay. I
think it's a different kind of awareness. I think it's a different kind of awareness because I know people are really bad drivers when I'm in a vehicle, but I can't imagine the awareness you have of other drivers when you're on a motorcycle because you are the fly hitting the windshield essentially. Like you have to be so aware of that.
Oh yeah, you're constantly looking. No matter. And if anybody doesn't know, that's why motorcycles are designed to be loud. It's not just being cool and being annoying, it had to have a loud, it's a safety feature. And if you're ever sitting next to one at a stoplight and you hear one rev the engine, sometimes it's just to let you know that they're there, so that you're aware that they are there beside you and don't come over into that lane.
Okay, so Jenny's first one is a motorcycle.
Yeah. What about you?
My first one is a new one that just happened a few weeks ago, and I now have to wear glasses. I've been diagnosed with glasses. My eyesight has betrayed me, so now I have the glasses.
But they look very, very cute on you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But they reflect. I don't like I'm always touching them, and I just feel like my mom looking over my glasses, and they're always dirty, but thank you.
Yeah.
I
So
like the
what was
reflection.
your experience when you first put your glasses with the prescription on? Was it like, wow, I really couldn't see very well?
So I didn't. My eyesight wasn't horrible. I just think they made the menu words too small. I think that's just a universal thing that they should make menu fonts bigger.
Okay. Okay.
But I we were watching a football game on a phone, and I was like, wow, they're airing this one in like 4D. Like this was really clear quality. And then Cody said, just take your glasses off. And I took my glasses off. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just the quality is a lot better. I feel like I can sit farther away from my screens. I feel like I'm not constantly squinting.
Well, and you were getting headaches
I was
too.
getting really bad headaches. I was like, it might be time.
Yeah.
Because it can only for so long be a sinus headache until you realize that's not what the issue is. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So did they say you were nearsighted or farsighted or?
Yeah, they told me, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't remember what it was. I would think it's harder for me to see far away.
Yeah. I think that might be where people initially start,
Yeah.
and then as you get older, like I have astigmatism.
Me too. I'm astigmatized. I got astigmatized.
Yeah.
I'm
You're stigmatized.
astigmatized. I think it means I get to board planes first now.
Yeah.
I'm astigmatized. But the text on my cell phone apparently was very large because multiple people commented how large my text was on my phone.
Uh-huh.
So I told the doctor that, and he's like, well, then that would be nearsighted. So I don't know what I am.
Interesting.
Probably farsighted. I think it's harder for me to see far away.
Yeah.
But I'm at the grocery store, and it's still kind of hard for me to read the signs up top. So I don't know if I need to go back now that my eyes are kind of adjusted with a prescription, if I need to be readjusted. But yeah,
Right.
I got to start off 2025 with glasses.
Yeah, I went to the eye doctor about a year ago, and just this past year I have double, so I had to get bifocals. And if
You are bifocal?
oh yeah, if something does,
You never wear your glasses.
no, I never wear my glasses. That's so bad. But if that is something that doesn't make you feel, I mean, that makes you feel old. When they say you got to have bifocals, so.
Yeah, that's a new level of unpleasantry I'm not looking forward to. But
Yeah.
glasses in 2025, so you'll see me with them on, with them off. 9 times out of 10, I'm taking them off for pictures. I don't like the reflection.
Yeah. But they look cute on
Well,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
What's your number 2? So while you're out riding motorcycles, what you listening to?
So I tend to like hard rock music, and I would say probably, I mean, I was born in 76, so obviously until the 80s I didn't really know much music, but the 80s was definitely kind of my era, but I do like some rock going into the 60s, but I would get my first growing up. I was like 80s. It could be R&B, it could be pop. It was like a total 80s era. The hair bands, all of that. Huh?
Aren't you a cheerleader?
Like 1 year, I think. 1 year. But I played soccer most of the time. But that isn't on my list. That isn't on my list.
Well, I didn't know cheerleader. I didn't know what you cheered to.
What I cheered to.
Like, what kind of music would you guys cheer to?
Well, I just cheered in high school. Like there were no.
Oh, so this was past the.
Oh, not yeah. I don't even know if there was competitive cheer back then.
All right.
Okay. But anyway, no. So when Chris and I got together, the first concert I think that we went to was AC/DC at Roberts Stadium, and so that was kind of what turned me on to this sort of thing.
So
it was
before
really
Chris
cool.
turned you on to AC/DC, what were you listening to before that? Because that's what I always wondered. Did that kind of music come along with getting into a relationship with Chris, or what were you listening to before that?
Well, goodness, before that, I honestly can't remember. It was probably like, I liked a variety of things. Like, I was always good. I knew the words to almost every song, out there. So, again, it was, of course, rap growing up in the 80s was just really starting to starting, and so there was some of that. Of course, it's not what it is now. And I like country. I like pop. I liked everything in the 80s, the hair bands. So recently, my mom has cancer, and so she was going to Vanderbilt for cancer treatments, and so I told her, or we were there for almost a week or something, and I said, Mom, I want to go to a concert. And it was at the stadium. I think it's Nissan Stadium.
Yeah.
That's what it used to be called. And she was like, "Well, what do you want to see?" And she was doing okay, but she had a harder time getting around. But I said, that was when Motley Crue, Joan Jett, Def Leppard, and Poison was going to be at Nissan Stadium. And I said, "Do you mind if I go tonight to that?" And she was like, "Well, I'll go with you." And so I'm thinking, okay. So I bought us tickets, and the last concert I went to with my mom was Neil Diamond. Okay.
Your mom and you have been to Neil Diamond,
Yes.
and then this concert.
Yes. So I suffered through Neil Diamond with my mom, and so she was going to go with me to Motley Crue and Def Leppard.
And Joan Jett, you said?
And Joan Jett and Poison, but I think Bret Michaels ended up, he has diabetes, so he ended up, what?
That's so funny. Just I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, he does. So,
Bret Michaels.
so he had some type of issue going on with that, so he had to cancel, which I was really upset about that. But anyway, we had a good time.
Did you guys like to use like the I don't want to say handicap drop off, but didn't you guys get to like get dropped off and picked up at a different place so like your mom didn't have to walk as far?
I dropped her off.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and
okay,
then
you
I
dropped
picked
her
her
off.
up.
Okay,
Yeah, and
yeah.
she was a nervous wreck in Nashville all by herself at night, waiting for me to get there. But
The concert was good though, right?
oh, the concert was, I just had a really
That's such
great
a good
time.
story.
And so did she. Her "Home Sweet Home" by Motley Crue was her favorite song.
Sweet Home.
Yeah, "Home Sweet Home."
Which is not Home Sweet Alabama.
No,
Okay.
no, a little different, little different. Tommy Lee on the piano, she liked that.
Tommy Lee, who used to be married to Pamela Anderson.
Yeah,
What brand is he in?
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
Drummer.
Motley Crue. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'll get all
yeah.
those. We gotta find a picture of Jenny in the '80s and post it.
Oh gosh.
Because I think you had really big hair, didn't you?
Big bangs probably. Big bangs in the 80s.
Perms, yeah.
Perms.
Why were those so big in the '80s?
Well, I mean, you had the hair
Fad they went
bands.
through.
Everybody wanted curly hair, and big hair. So perm kind
Gotcha.
of goes with it. All right, what's second on your list?
Because it's going to come up sooner or later because it's Jenny's favorite fact to share about me. And I blame the public education system. So we need to have a teacher on to hear what they think about the public education system. Because when you were in elementary school or middle school, I don't remember when we learned it, and you had a map of the 50 states, okay, there were two little ones over here. You knew one was Alaska, you knew one was Hawaii, one was hot, one was cold. Hawaii is an island, okay? I thought Alaska was also an island. And it was not until, it was probably, 3 years ago?
Oh yeah.
It was recent future. In this office, we were talking, and they got to witness me learning that Alaska is attached to not only something, but a very, very large something, Canada. Which means on those maps, instead of having Hawaii and Alaska down here, you should have Alaska up here in the corner. So attached to something, attached to something. So people realize that you don't have it hanging out with another island. So yeah, I'm not good with geography, and I thought Alaska was an island.
Yeah, so we have had to have a geography class.
There's a map hanging up at my desk right now so everyone can reference it. But Jenny likes to go, "Hi, new person working here. This is Megan. She didn't know Alaska was an island, and here's where the kitchen is." Like, she has to put that in the onboarding process. Well, they're going to find out I don't know things pretty quickly. You don't have to tell them. So I went ahead and shared that. I'm terrible with geography, even worse at history and math. But yeah, until really recently in my adult life, I thought Alaska was an island, just like Hawaii. And I blame those maps that everyone knows which one I'm talking about because it's the same map that's blank that you have to fill in the states. And they've got the two little island ones down here, but one of them's not an island.
Oh
So
yeah. Did they, so when you were in school, did that, like your history teacher, geography teacher, just pull the map down in front of the chalkboard?
it's not connected to anything on those either. It's like they want you to not know Canada exists.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want you to know Canada exists. And also, I don't think we had those pull down maps when I went to school, Jenny.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't think
Oh
so.
my gosh.
We had the
Yeah.
projector pull down screen, but I don't
I
think
mean,
we
like they
if
had,
we did, I missed when they pulled it down.
yeah, they had a pull down and it had like all the maps, but they had to roll up like the world map if you were just looking, if you were looking for the US map, and then they'd have to roll up the US map behind if you just wanted the state of Indiana map. I mean,
No, we had we had a globe, I think, which I must not have looked at because I think on the globe it's probably connected to Canada.
yes.
I can guarantee
Well, no,
I didn't look at a
I
globe
can
ever.
guarantee you on a globe it is connected.
It might be. We can't confirm or deny
It
that.
is
We
connected
don't
to
have a
Canada.
globe in here, so I don't think I looked at a globe a lot either. But I don't. They had the projector screen they pulled down. In an art class, they'd pull something down. But yeah, I don't think they. Because what class do you have where you just learn about locations?
Well, I
Geography?
mean,
Do they have a geography class?
yeah,
Or would you learn about it in social
history,
studies?
the social studies probably, because
yeah.
that's what it was called for till you got to high school.
I don't think they taught us
Think.
that. So anyone else who went to rights in my class, if any of you also didn't know that Alaska was an island, please comment on our social media so I'm not alone in this. And I will support you and not judge you because those maps that they printed out that we had to write all 50 states on did not teach you the right way.
And if there are no comments, how's that going to
I
make
just
you
don't
feel,
think
Megan?
I just don't think we have enough followers yet on our social media. There's no comments. But yeah, I don't know geography. Lived in this town my entire life. Have to use a GPS everywhere. And don't you dare give me north-south directions. I need to know, do I turn left at the Walmart or do I turn right at the Walmart?
Oh, I got a funny story. So one time I went out of town, which is going to kind of be my next
Lead into
topic.
your next one, yeah.
My next topic is my travel, but whenever I go out of town, I have to rely on my fellow partners in my real estate business to help me out. So I was getting this listing, and I needed Megan to go over there and take pictures and to measure.
This has nothing to do with your third.
Yes, it does. But anyway, so she goes over and takes pictures and measures, and she sends me these measurements over, and I'm getting like 111.6 or 310.5, and I'm going, what in the heck are these measurements? Well, she was sending me room measurements in inches, not feet.
You're lucky if that's even what it was. I should have just taken a picture of where the thing stopped at because I didn't know what I was reading.
So I had to do this. I had to convert inches into feet in order to put this
All right,
property.
I'm going to
on.
cross out what my number 3 was and say I'm also bad at math and measurements and anything to do with numbers.
No,
That's because I was so scared to take pictures. Because Jenny's phenomenal at taking our listing pictures, so I'm scared to take these pictures. I wasn't even thinking about measurements.
oh
I
yeah.
wasn't even thinking about measurements.
Hey, it all worked out. It all worked out, and we all learned something
We did.
during that process.
We did, which I didn't know how to read I still don't know how to read the tape measure. You're lucky you didn't get 5 feet and 2 lines. That's what I would have wrote down next. 5 feet and 2 lines past that. That's how big this living room is.
All right. So my third thing is that we own a 46-foot toy hauler RV.
Wowza.
So it actually is our second RV, and it has a garage in it where we can pull our ride in our motorcycles. So it is our second one. We hadn't always had the garage with it, so that's, since we've had our motorcycles, that's been fun. So we love to travel. We've gone everywhere from I think the furthest, the Keys.
West? Oh, the Keys were
The
further
Keys
than
were
out west,
probably, yeah, the Keys were probably the farthest we've gone. We have gone to South Dakota, which I think we're gonna try to go back there again this year, and all over here all over around here. We've been to Georgia, Myrtle Beach. We went to Myrtle Beach this year. So
So what led you guys getting an RV? Because you like traveling. Did you just want to avoid hotel stays? Was it so you guys could take Ivan, your dog, with you? Like, what made you guys want to get the IV? Because it's not the
yeah.
greatest. It's nice to have once you're there, but driving with that has
Oh
to be
yeah, it's
a
because you're as
hassle.
long as a semi,
Yeah.
but so probably a mixture of couple things. Chris and I are both really outdoorsy people, so we love to hike, we love to camp, we're outdoor enthusiasts, and then also we have a Belgian Malinois. So if you don't know what one of those are, look those
Google it.
up.
Yeah.
And I am not recommending those as pets, but so he got kicked out of the kennel.
All
Like,
kennels
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. So like you can only like board him with specific people, and so he got kicked out of the kennel, and so now
So,
we have to take
and
him.
here's the he's not a bad dog.
No,
He is an intense dog.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. His parents were Russian Border Patrol.
yeah. They were Russian Border
And
Patrol.
now he's the offspring living in southern Indiana
Yep.
to two real estate
Yeah.
agents who take him RVing.
Yeah, and he was such a sweet little looking puppy whenever we went there to go pick him up. It's like, oh, he's so cute. Look at him. He's so smart. And he is so smart.
So he's too smart.
Yeah, but you just have to know how to handle them because they are such high energy, high drive, and they can just take off an arm
They
real
are the
quick.
dogs that the military straps to their back and gets deployed in
Yeah, and
and
they
then
like
releases
climb
them.
walls and stuff like that. So,
I think I get more Belgian Malinois videos on my social media than Husky videos because you watch one and then like you just watch all of them.
oh, that
And
is so weird because I get more husky videos on mine than I
well,
do
that's right because
Belgian
you live with
Malinois.
the Belgian Malinois, so you don't even
Yeah,
watch the videos.
yeah,
But
yeah.
people do send me Husky videos all the time and keep doing that because I do love seeing those and they are 100% accurate. So that is really funny that we get each other's dog
Uh-huh.
videos.
Yeah.
Speaking of another Jenny Doer story, we were at a team meeting one time. It was like oh gosh, it's probably been 3 years, 4 years ago. Anywho, and we're like, what goals do we have? We had a really good summer or something. Where do we want to go? We're going to go on a trip. We're like, we don't know. Someone, I don't know if it was Jenny, whispers Utah. And the rest of us on the team are like, oh yeah, we've never been there. 2 weeks later, she has the entire Utah trip planned, and we're bringing our significant other. So it was amazing. But in 2 weeks, Jenny had the Airbnb booked. She had the hotels booked. She knew what hikes we were going on. And when you go on a hike with Jennifer McBride, you know what her motto is, our fearless leader? If you end up back at your place by the end of the night, you never got lost. I'm a planner. I need to know what we're doing. I need to know when we're eating. I need to know the temperature. I need to know what snacks I need in my backpack. And I am going into this foreign world out west with someone who's saying, as long as we make it back, we're never lost. It's the most anti-Yoda thing I've ever heard. It did not inspire me. I got more scared. And then we stopped on the side of the road and she said, well, let's just go climb that mountain. I want to
Yeah.
see what's up there, so let's just go climb it. And we did.
And it was cool,
It was
wasn't it?
amazing. It was, but also you like to sit in the back seat and say, turn off your GPS, I got you, and say, go that way. And then you point in the back seat when the driver doesn't know where we're going. So we got to work on our direction skills.
Yeah, yeah. So I love to
Utah was
hike.
amazing. Yeah, those
Yeah,
hikes were gorgeous.
yeah, beautiful. One of my favorite places to go. And but funny story in regards to that. So when Chris and I we went to California one time,
Oh yeah, and I
and
also knew this story in my mind was concerned.
and so we went. I can't remember. It was south of Los Angeles. I can't remember exactly where it was, but anyway, we're going on this hike, and I find this little path kind of off the path, and I'm like, cool, let's follow that kind of back up, and then that should take us back to where we need to go. Where we are walking, and and it is not ending, and then like the path gets off, and there is no path, and then I'm like, oh, that looks like a path up there, and Chris is telling me, Jenny, there's like bobcats or whatever
Your marine husband showing his concern.
in this area, and I'm like, well, there's a fence up there, we just need to make it to the fence and we can walk along the fence and find a way out. Well, we find the fence, we get up to the fence, and it is like a high school or a grade school, And I don't know if they were in session, but there was like nowhere, anywhere to go anywhere.
What'd you do, Jenny?
So literally, Chris and I climbed the fence
I broke
of
into
the high school.
California high school.
Yeah, we climbed the fence, jump over the fence, and we're walking through this campus. Thank goodness nobody saw us, but we got into the main road. We were able to walk back on the roads to our car. But it was so funny.
You ended up back at your car, so you were never lost.
We were never lost. We got back exactly where we needed to go.
I need to know how many hours I need snacks for. So your third one was travel. You
Yep.
like travel, and you have an RV, and you prefer mountains over beach.
Mountains over beach
Mountains over
every
beach,
day.
Every day, yeah. My third one is I want people on this podcast, when we start having guests, to share stories that they never thought they'd share. So I felt I needed to share a story I never thought I'd share. And it is the story of my middle name.
Oh, yes. Let's hear this.
When I tell you, I spent more time not sharing my middle name with people or telling other stories, that there's going to be people who are realizing for the first time. There's so many ways I avoided it. So my sweet God lover mother loves Tom Selleck. Okay. And he had I'm going to assume it was a terrible show on called Magnum PI.
Oh, no, that was a popular show.
And his name was Thomas Sullivan Magnum. My last name is Thomas. So she's like, super idea. I'm going to name her Megan Sullivan Thomas because that's really close to Thomas Sullivan Magnum. And that is how I got my horrific middle name. So in high school, we had to do a project on where your names originated from. It's Irish, and it means little brown-eyed one.
Okay.
But
that might be a better story.
no, I made up so many stories. So I told people, because I had a friend in high school who called me Mega Meg. And I had someone ask me, where'd you get that name? And I said, well, my name is Megan Thomas. And they said, well, why? And I said, because my mom stuttered when the nurse asked what my name was. So they thought she said Megan Thomas. So I would tell that story for a while. And then people would meet my mom and be like, well, she doesn't stutter. And then I told people it was my dad's war buddy that died in his arms. I'm like, that's a great story. And then I felt a little bad telling people like such an intense military story. I was like, that's a good one. That was a good one. And then I just straight up lied and said it was Nicole. And then I used to bowl. So on the screen, it would always say MST. So for 2 years, this girl believed me that it was Megan Nicole Thomas, even though on the screen it always said MST. So that one was on her, not me, because it should have obviously not said MST. But yeah, I've hated my middle name, and I was like, Mom, that's great. What happens if I ever get married and change my last name? Your little fun joke is ruined. But then I found out she wanted to name me Salikia. Because, yeah, so she wanted to name me Salikia because that's like Selleck. And luckily my father put a no to that, and that's why he was like, I'll give you Sullivan for a middle name.
Okay. Well, that's a cool story, and I don't think
It's a dumb story. When you were in middle, no one dreams of a boy going, oh, Megan Sullivan. No, because everyone's like, oh, Kayla Grace or Kayla Marie or Ellen Elizabeth, Megan Sullivan.
Well,
no one's lovingly.
Let me ask you this: if you could choose your own middle name, what would it be?
Would I name my middle sister Nicole?
Oh,
It'd be the
Nicole.
plainest, easiest name ever. So people would be like, oh, let me guess. I'm like, you're never going to guess. So they'd guess, and the first name they'd say, I'd be like, oh my God, that's it. You're so smart. They're like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yeah. So people would just guess. They'd be like, Megan Marie. I'm like, yep. They're like, oh my God, I knew I'd get it on the first try.
Oh yeah, no, I kind of think it's cool. I like it. I like it.
No,
when you're named Jennifer, like that's a cool name.
When you're named Jennifer?
Yeah, because that was like
Oh,
the
what's
most common
your middle name,
when
Jennifer?
When I was born, Renee.
Yeah.
Like common.
Jennifer Renee. Exactly. It's not a boy's name. It is always male. It is a male name.
Well, that's
I
like
didn't know how to
in
spell it till
now.
like third grade because I just rejected it as my name.
Yeah, that's in now. Like you're cool now because a lot of people are naming their girls boy names.
No, yeah, boy name. It's never Sullivan. No one's ever naming their kid Sullivan. And then it was really fun when Monsters Inc. came out. Many years passed, and then everyone felt it was fun to call me Sully. But then Tom Hanks saved it because then he became a pilot that, like, he played a pilot that saved everyone. So
Yeah.
that's my middle name.
I've been wondering all these years. I thought it was Suzanne.
I know, because you guessed. That's what you guessed first. So I said,
Uh-huh.
you got it on your first try. Because you knew it began with an S. So you're like, Suzanne, like, yep, you got it. Good job guessing on your first try. Because that's what I just tell everyone.
Oh.
So that
Well.
is my terrible middle name. So I don't have to probably worry about ever last name changing, but if it does, I'm going to change it to Thomas is going to become my middle name.
Okay.
I'm going to make Thomas my middle name.
Megan Thomas Thomas?
Well, if I got married.
Oh, if you got married. Okay.
No, my name's Megan Thomas. I'm not going to change it to Megan Thomas Thomas. Obviously, that would just be silly. But I would take Thomas as my middle name.
Okay. So number 4 for me, I had written down exercise and health, and it kind of was made a point to me that I needed to talk about an episode that happened with me, I think probably 6 or 7 years ago, where I was sitting in my office and all of a sudden my feet started going numb. And I had looked at my husband and I was like, man, my feet are kind of tingling. It really kind of feels weird. And then over the course of the next day or so, it started going all the way up my legs and up to my waist. And I started getting really nervous because I was like, man, if this feeling goes any higher, like, am I going to be able to breathe? Like, how is this going to affect things? So anyway, to make a long story short, I went to the emergency room and they had me go to a neurologist. So they gave me a referral to go to a neurologist. Went and spoke with him. He was like, well, you're at the right age. This must have been like right at around 40. So you're at the right age where a lot of people get MS. And so
multiple sclerosis, right?
Yeah. So anyway, a little freaked out about that, a lot freaked out about that. But anyway, he ordered a bunch of tests. I had my first spinal tap ever, which was absolutely horrible, all kinds of blood work and MRIs, brain MRI, thoracic MRI. And the only thing the test really showed, didn't show, I think MS, there really isn't a really good test. There's some like things that, show that it could be MS because it's more common with MS, but none of those signs were there. The only thing was the numbness up to my waist. And come to find out, I had a what they call a lesion, but like inflammation on T11, so my thoracic 11.
A spine?
Yeah.
Okay, so a
Thoracic
lesion on the
11.
spine.
Yep. And then in my brain. And so anyway, course of high doses of, I had to go into the infusion center and get antibiotics, or not antibiotics,
I was like, 'cause I don't
steroids.
think you,
Steroids.
not a doctor, but I know you cured a lesion with antibiotics.
Yeah, steroids. So had to go a week getting those steroids infusions done. And over the course of several weeks, the numbness and everything started going away. So what did stay was pain. Like I would get shooting pain down my legs. And when I talk about pain, it was enough pain that I knew that I did not want to live the rest of my life feeling this way. It was absolutely horrible whenever it happened. And I know some people, I'm not, maybe people with neuropathy or something.
That's what
like
I was thinking,
this.
yeah. More like neuropathy.
But anyway,
I think that happens with chemo and stuff. Like it really affects the nerves and things, and I think in people,
yeah.
and it's very painful.
Yeah. So anyway, all of that started, all of my numbness and everything kind of went away. I still feel like I maybe have some numbness in like my big toe. But anyway, numbness went away, pain went away. I was very, very fortunate. It was just one of those things that was going to take time. That inflammation, the steroids had to work, get that inflammation down. The only thing they wanted to retest was my brain to check that lesion, just I guess to make sure that it wasn't cancer or, something like that. And so they did say that that lesion was still there, but it didn't change in size or anything. And so they just said if I had any problems, then to come back and knock on wood, thank the Lord with lots of prayers.
Yeah, that's crazy. They can just be like, oh, if you have issues, come back, just knowing you have a lesion. But how many
Yeah.
people have a lesion, I guess, and don't realize it or don't know? So,
Oh, yeah.
what has that experience with going through that, moving forward with your dedication stuff to being active and physical? You had shared a story before, like
Oh
you
my
don't say you
gosh.
have to run, you get to run, or you don't have to just you get to do this. So, how has that kind of experience affected your future mindset on stuff?
Well, when you go to so I was able to go to the grocery. I still had feeling in my legs, but like I walked like a drunk person, or what you would think of somebody that maybe had a disability. And what goes through your head as somebody who is the same person here, but their body doesn't match their intelligence. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. Like, I was, it embarrassed me because I thought, well, people aren't going to think that I'm as smart as I am, or because I can't walk right. So, so what that did for me was gave me appreciation for people that do have a long-term permanent disability, or appreciation for maybe people that just are slower, or even that had a bad day. Because there's times where we get frustrated. You're pulling through Walmart and somebody's taking their time walking across the street, and it's like you don't know what is going on with them. You don't know, like, people could have gotten frustrated with me or thought, man, she's drunk walking into that building. They don't know what I was going through.
Oh yeah, and just an overall, we don't appreciate our health until
Yeah.
something's wrong with it and different.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah. So
I
it's
think that
given me
everyday
more
appreciation,
patience.
yeah.
But also, too, having when you can't do something, it makes you appreciate the times that you could. And so there, I haven't been perfect this whole time. I haven't always been exercising the way that I should, but especially as I get older, I still have so much more hiking I want to do. I still have so much more life that I want to live. This health journey that I've been on, this exercise, this getting into shape, lifting weights, especially for women, like you just lose your muscle tone, and your muscles can help protect your bones and things like that. So, it's just so important for me to, especially as I get older,
And
to
Jenny has
protect.
worked very hard in 2024. You'd always been interested and serious about health, but you can tell like you really kept your mind to it in 2024, and have stuck with it, and you're seeing results. It's been awesome. You're actually seeing results now, which is huge, and are doing
Yeah.
a really good job with your workout and
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
like
thank
that.
you.
And I do want to say it is important that females listen to females when trying to get healthy, because our bodies are different than men. And I listened to Joe Rogan, who is a very muscular male, and I listened to Jason Kelsey, who is also a very muscular male, and both very active. And they, on their podcast, are like, drink AG1. It's healthy. You get these greens. And they just both promoted it. I'm like, you know what? These two guys, I really like them. I'm going to listen to them. So I got AG1. And I'm not saying it won't work for females. I'm just saying it did not work for me. So then I started researching like fast like a girl, and then like started following female healthy people. And yeah, it's a lot different when you follow female healthy people than male healthy people. So I would definitely say it, listen to your gender
Yeah.
when you were trying to get healthy.
Yeah, yeah, and especially like when you're approaching 50 like I am, and I hope that we're able to have a guest that is going to talk about women's hormones and things
Yeah.
like that, and how that can affect your overall health and losing weight and just how you feel in general.
And I would like to have one of each gender because it is so different. The journeys, males see it fall off faster. It affects their bodies different. Women, so I think that's going to be. I'm very much looking forward to that one. But I giggled because that should be something everyone should know. Not to, as a female, look up to really strong male athletes. So I no longer take male podcasters' advice on what they should wear, what they should use when working out.
Okay. Well,
Learn my lesson.
and where to.
Learn. Oh yeah, and where to. My fourth one, and kind of goes along with what you were saying, Jenny, about not knowing what people are going through and not knowing their stories and stuff. So I have my master's in social work. I was the first person in my family to go to college. So I wanted to go all out. I'm like, well, might as well just check that off the list and got my master's in social work. And I did hospice social work for a little while. So that was a really interesting time and experience. And I'm so proud of getting my master's. At that time, it was one of the hardest things I had done going to school and always having a job and stuff like that. And being the only one in my family to do that. Growing up, I think in our generation, including you, Jenny, I would like to know, it was really pushed college or you don't succeed, kind of. It was college led to better things, college led to bigger jobs, college led to all these opportunities. And I do love that now it is not necessarily that. But college was pushed really big, like by society growing up when I went to school. So, yeah, that was a really good time. Heart to Heart Hospice was an amazing, is still an amazing company. They do really great stuff. And that's who I went to work for. And then unfortunately quickly realized social work was not for me.
Yeah.
And then got into real estate. But yeah, I have my master's in social work.
Yeah, a lot of people think that their psychology is a big major,
Yep.
and the natural, I think a lot of people getting that degree do end up going into
They do
social
because
work.
your options once you get done your bachelor's in psychology is not much. There's not much you do with it. So you either go for 4, 5, or 7 more years to get your doctorate, either in research or in counseling, or you go to counseling and do it with social work. So that was kind of the route, and I think people realize because it's fascinating to learn about, but to actually implement it for a profession,
Yeah.
which is what I wish I would have looked more into, I think, before I got started. But yeah, those are really your kind of choices. You either continue to get a doctorate in psychology, so you can do research or counseling, or you get your master's in social work and you can do counseling.
Right.
And obviously a doctorate in social work and do research and stuff like that. But there's a little you can do with just a psychology degree.
Sure, sure. And what does that really look like? Because I think a lot of young people that think they want to get into this, what is the reality of what that ultimately looks like in social work? Because to me, I envision it being sad all the time. Like, even working in hospice, I mean, that's, you're on the path to no longer being here, when hospice is called in, or even if you're doing social work as far as going into some people's homes, typically those aren't always the brightest, nicest places to be.
So my experience was, and I know people still who you can just tell they were meant to do what they're doing in a social work field. Their hearts are just enormous and their patience and everything. What I experienced was you have to be okay with trying to plant a seed and never knowing if the tree grows. So in that period of time, whether it is a short time you're counseling someone, whether it's a short period you're with a client and a patient and family, you have to hope that your time together was impactful enough for that individual. So when they grow and make choices in the future, they remember your time together and that plants a seed for them to go on a different path. Because it takes one supportive person in an adolescent or child's life to put them on a different path. My issue was you have to fight so much red tape politically, financially, and seeing every day those people who really need it were like under an umbrella because all of the crap up here, people were becoming insurance numbers, not humans.
Yeah.
And I just am not the person who had the patience to fight that, who had the patience to feel like I was still making a difference. Um, it's that was honestly the hardest part of doing anything in social work was this person needs this. Well, we have to wait a month to hear back from their insurance if they'll let us because we got to do it 3 times and a fourth time is really just not going to make anyone money
Yeah.
when you see this person struggling and know they need it. So personally, that's what had me get out of it because there's such a bigger issue to mental health. Um, I don't know what the word is, governmentally, publicly, financially, the red tape of it,
Yeah.
that helping people is the last thing on the list. So that's where because I loved doing hospice. I loved talking to the families. I love knowing that we were a part of helping people peacefully be on that journey. And when people realize, it's kind of the end, the story, again, it was all about hearing stories and the stories they share and stuff like that. It was having to go back to our meetings and share that and be like, oh, well, it medically doesn't fit this or it doesn't fit their insurance, or they became just pieces of information on paper and not people. And that was just personally hard for me. I should have the patience for it. But like I said, I still know some amazing social workers who are advocates who you can tell were born to do it. So I respect all those people in those fields who are making a difference and have the ability to stick with it. Because going to school for that long and not having a job and my degree was like my biggest fear come true. And I don't regret it now, but that was a really hard process and time to be like, okay, I went to school for all of this, but was it for nothing now because I'm not doing anything with it? Which realized there was a lot of stuff learned throughout that process.
Oh,
that
yeah.
still being used.
Oh, yeah. And you grew and you matured and, things like that. Because if you would have gotten into real estate at 18 right out of high school, I mean, odds are most people would not still be in it. So it's.
Oh, and I
mean,
don't think that journey would have led me to real estate at that time. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine what I'd be doing. I think this isn't dissing on it, but I think I probably either would have stayed in retail or I probably would have stayed at this like factory type job I had. I think knowing myself, I would have just circled and not tried to do anything further. So I think about that a lot. But yeah, no, I don't regret getting it because I still did it and it was still hard. But yeah, I had to work a lot on getting over I no longer use my degree. So
Yeah.
that was a hard process. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
still deal with people every day. So
yeah, we are psychologists, psychiatrists,
realtors are different kind
social
of
workers
very
in our
different
job.
kind of listeners.
Yeah, and I do hope that we're able to have somebody on our podcast to talk about mental health because I think that I personally feel like that's one of the biggest problems we have today as a society. So, okay, so my fourth one, it kind of goes back to my fifth one, sorry, my last one, goes back to what we were talking about before, and it's, we're going to talk a little bit about exercise. And so, I have been one, like, I don't like to run, and so like if I have to do, I will, and I've done it in the past because I get to run, but if I have my choice, I would not do that. So I think that I hope that nobody thinks in order to be healthy you have to be a runner and run a 5K, whatever, because you don't have to do that. So what I decided, and I wasn't prepared to go to a gym yet either. And I think some people are embarrassed to maybe take that first step and to get into a gym because you think there's just muscle heads or these ladies and these.
Yeah, feel judged because you're there trying to make
Yeah.
a difference and you don't look like them.
So I actually have a MetaQuest 3, which is a VR headset.
Yeah.
And I have this app called Supernatural. It is a subscription that you have to pay for. I think it's like $12.99 a month, but it can be cheaper than a gym.
Hashtag supernatural if they want to
Yeah.
sponsor our
Yeah.
second episode.
So, anyway, so I get on there and do my cardio. I wear my Apple Watch and I go on the fitness app and I set it to dance because I want to track my heart rate. I want to track my calories burned, and
You
I
got a
go.
Motley Crue on there? You dancing to some
You
Motley
know,
Crue?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if Motley Crue's on there. Come on, Motley Crue. Anyway,
Release a new banger for us for our virtual
yeah.
viewers.
So I do that for at least a half an hour. A half an hour I can burn anywhere between 250 calories. An hour I do about 420. So depending on how much you want to burn, I always do it in the morning. It is so much fun. I'm competitive.
Yeah, she is.
So I like the gamifying of it. So I like to earn the points. I like to see, 99%, 100% on all the challenges and all of that stuff. Like it's really important to me. And then, so I do that almost every other day. And then I have some free weights at home. I go on YouTube. I'm following this guy that I have a plan every day. Every day I lift to work out, and I just follow him and do the weights. And
And who's him on YouTube?
um,
Dan the Man?
well, I just call him Dan. It's Tiff and Dan. Um, it's Tiff and Dan, but Dan is the one that mainly does it. And I've really increased my muscle mass. I'm down 5% in body fat. I'm up in muscle weight and down a little bit in weight, but muscle is putting on muscle. You're not going to lose the pounds like you normally would if you weren't putting on muscle. So anyway,
You've done
that's what I'm
such a
doing.
good job. You've done such. Do you have a goal? Because that's what I've heard too. People get to a goal and then it's like they slide backwards because they've reached that goal. Are you helping to maintain it? Because you're not where you want to be quite yet,
No,
right?
I'm not where I want to be quite yet. And I'd like to get a 20% body fat. I think I'm at 20 now.
You're
So
at 20 and you want to get to what?
I'm at 25 now. I want to get to 20.
I'm super excited about us having a health person on, personally, because I want to berate them with questions. But I'm not saying I'm getting on a health journey, A, because I think everyone in the world right now is, and because I think that puts pressure on it. I'm trying to learn healthier habits. Because what I've noticed, besides not following very muscular men anymore and what they say to do and to drink in the morning with AG1, what you have to unlearn. So you do not have to get on a treadmill and run if you are not a runner. Cardio does not work for some people. It's not about starving yourself with calorie count. I think for so long it was, I'm a healthy person, look at me, you need to do exactly what I do. And I think more things now are being aware that everyone's body is different. What works for someone may not work for you. If you are working out with a partner and they're seeing results, that doesn't mean your results are not happening. So I think the first step in that journey, and I'm speaking personally for me, is unlearning all the negative things you taught yourself or learned, and finding your own path with it. Because how many times have people started and stopped because it's a lifestyle? It's not something you just get to do for a fad and that weight stays off, and then people get on that limbo of gaining it back.
That's why going to a gym may not be the best
Yeah.
thing, because I mean, it could be very motivating for some people to see, somebody that just like looks absolutely fantastic in your mind. But doing it at home where you don't feel like you're being judged by anybody, and but you're moving your body, you're burning the calories, you're making your heart healthier, and all in your
It is, yeah.
your metabolism faster.
Nope. One more time, metabolism.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I think people realize, oh, I'm not going to start because I can't do that. You're judging your first step to someone's 90th step. If you sit on the couch 5 days a week, one night don't sit on the couch and maybe go for a walk
Yep.
or find a VR or follow something on YouTube and do yoga. Like start with those baby steps, because especially now with YouTube, all that information can be free just to get started. I do
Yeah.
think you need a little bit more push and professional sometimes guidance with that. But I'm super excited to get a health focused person on here. And want to definitely hear about people's journeys. There's a girl I follow on Facebook, and she is a baker, and she has just shared her journey. So I love it when everyone shares their journey and their struggles. And she has reached her goal. She's been doing really well. And I could not imagine being a baker and being around all those sweets and hitting those goals. So I thanked her for sharing her story, because that was really awesome. I'd love to have her on too. This goes right into my fifth one. I don't know how I can earn the title as an adult, because I don't like doing anything that adults should do, but I don't cook. I hate cooking. My extent of cooking is using the air fryer. It's how we lived for many, many years when we were in college. Is if you listen to our first episode, which go back and do, I frequent 3 locations often, and that is Jason's Deli, which is fantastic. Their salad bar is divine. McAllister's and Chick-fil-A. And that is the extent of what I eat. So I hate cooking. I use my kitchen for like the 6th time this year over New Year's, and I made little taquito rolls and no-bake cookies, which was like a lot of mixing. It's just, you get so dirty. It's expensive. If I tracked, I think it is cheaper for 2 people to eat out every meal than it is to go to the grocery store. And that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was going to
telling
say.
myself.
I mean, honestly, it almost is.
It is.
But you just, a lot of times, of course, at Jason's Deli, you're getting your salad,
I get
depending
grilled
on.
nuggies now at Chick-fil-A, and I don't eat
Depending on,
Chick-fil-A sauce as much anymore.
Yeah. I was gonna say, depending on the dressing you put on your salad, but I know you're a dipper. You're
I'm a
not a
dipper.
pour.
Yeah, I
You're a
don't pour.
dipper.
I'm a dipper on my
Not
salad,
pour.
not a
So
pour.
that's good.
Thank you
That's
for
good.
calling that out. I dip,
Yep.
I don't pour. But yeah, I have to give a shout out to people who keep other human beings alive. Congratulations, because the thought of having to be responsible for another person. I do not have any children, if that's immediately concerning anyone. I have 3 dogs, so I don't like to cook. You will see me frequenting my places often. I do love to munch on some food, but I am not a cooker. But I do love home cooked meals, so if someone wants to make me some food, I'll eat it. But I don't cook. I don't do a lot of domesticated things, so Cody got a winner. Cody got a winner. Listeners, that is our top 5 things that we thought you might not know about us to get to know us a little bit better, because we're going to be asking people to share their stories. So we thought we will never ask if we will not do it ourselves. So we wanted to share a little bit about ourselves. And again, this podcast is about lifting others up. It's about being silly. It's about being serious. It's about hearing stories and finding something that might connect with you, because again, now more than ever, we need to find ways to not be competing in a way that separates us, but competing in a way that helps make all of us stronger, better, and get to the next level by kicking it up a notch. So please follow us on all social media platforms. You will be seeing more of it as we roll this out. And please share with us something you would like to accomplish in 2025, or a topic you would like to hear about. So hashtag us at KickItUpANotchPodcast, and we would love to hear from you. So thank you again for listening for another episode, and we will see you guys for episode 3.
All right. Take care, and that's a wrap. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Kick It Up a Notch. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep reaching higher and kicking it up a notch.